Joseph's story is one of the most striking examples of how betrayal, delay, and suffering can quietly become the foundation of destiny, showing a path where pain is not the end, but a hidden preparation for something greater. As a young man, Joseph was deeply loved by his father Jacob, a love that set him apart from his brothers and unknowingly placed him in a position of jealousy and resentment within his own family. His dreams, which showed symbols of authority and future leadership where even his family bowed before him, were not received as inspiration, but as provocation, fueling anger in the hearts of his brothers. That anger eventually turned into violence. They first plotted to kill him, then instead threw him into a dry fit, abandoning him to despair, and finally sold him into slavery for a few pieces of silver, stripping him of his family, his freedom, and his identity in a single chain of decisions. Taken far from home into Egypt, Joseph entered a world where he had no status and no protection. Yet even in that unfamiliar land, he chose discipline over bitterness and responsibility over despair. In Potiphar's house, he worked with such integrity and excellence that he quickly rose in position, trusted with everything in his master's household, proving that character can still shine even in captivity. But just when stability seemed to form, temptation and false accusation struck him again. After refusing wrongdoing and staying loyal to his principles, he was falsely accused and thrown into prison, a place where truth seemed invisible and justice seemed delayed. In prison, Joseph experienced one of the most difficult forms of suffering. Not just confinement, but being forgotten by those he helped, left waiting for years in silence. Yet instead of collapsing inward, he continued to use his gift of interpreting dreams, serving others even when no one was serving him, building a quiet strength shaped by patience, humility, and endurance. What seemed like endless delay was in fact preparation for a role far greater than anything he had known, as every season of hardship refined his ability to lead with wisdom rather than pride. Eventually, his ability to interpret dreams reached Pharaoh after no one else could explain a troubling vision about cows and grain, revealing a future of 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of devastating famine. Joseph not only interpreted the dream, but also provided a strategy to survive it, displaying a level of insight that turned crisis into opportunity. And in that moment, he was lifted from prison to palace, becoming second in command over all of Egypt. From being forgotten in a dungeon to standing beside the most powerful ruler in the ancient world, his life shifted in a way that no human planning could have predicted. Years later, when famine spread across surrounding lands, Joseph's own brothers traveled to Egypt seeking food, unaware that the brother they once betrayed now held the power to decide their fate. When they stood before him, Joseph recognized them instantly, but instead of responding with the revenge that many would expect, he chose a path of emotional maturity and forgiveness, revealing that their actions, though intended for harm, had been woven into a larger plan that ultimately preserved lives and fulfilled a destiny far bigger than personal pain. In that moment, Joseph understood that every pit, every prison, every betrayal, and every delay had been shaping him not to destroy him, but to prepare him, turning suffering into wisdom and rejection into elevation. His story leaves behind a timeless truth. Life does not always move in straight lines, and what feels like abandonment may actually be formation, where unseen forces are building strength, character, and purpose in silence long before success is revealed. If Joseph's story made you reflect on your own struggles, delays, or moments where life didn't make sense, then don't ignore that feeling. These are the kinds of stories that remind us that nothing is wasted, not even pain. If you found value in this, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because it genuinely helps us continue creating more powerful, meaningful stories like this one that can inspire, motivate, and reach people who are going through their own pit or prison moments right now.